I'm Ty, founder of Preservan, and welcome to another episode of Chart New Territories. I am super excited to introduce some brand new franchise owners going to be open up in Emerald Coast, which is, kind of basically the Florida Panhandle. That's Pensacola, Panama City, Destin. And so with me today, I have Nate and Brianna Miles. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Super excited to learn about your entrepreneurial journey.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you excited to be here, Nate?
Fantastically excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, here's how I usually like to get this started. I like to learn about how you guys got to this point. I think everybody comes to entrepreneurship through their own journey, through their own experiences. And so we'll get it started, and I'll let you guys just kind of pick however you want to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what were you doing? I'm looking at you now, so I'll start with you. What were you doing before this? Before Preservan, what was Nate doing?
Yeah, so I spent about the last 13, 14 years in corporate America working in IT with software development teams.
Okay.
Coaching, things from culture to process, efficiency. Before that, I was in the military for a little bit. I spent 5 years in the Army.
Okay, the Army?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, oddly enough, the Army and then coaching in software development, really not that different. You have a team of people and you have process, and you're trying to break down inefficiencies and work together and collaborate to get better. And so, that helped with this jump into franchise ownership.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really great. And of course, you guys have been married for how long?
About 13 years.
About 13 years. And so other than of course being married, Brianna, what have you been doing before this?
Yeah, so I have been in the field of education.
Okay.
So I was an elementary school teacher. I was a coach in buildings. I was an assistant principal for a few years. And I'm currently a mathematics and leadership consultant for elementary schools in the state of Colorado. I'm a homeschool mama, and I directed our kids' homeschool community.
Okay.
So that's what I'm up to.
Yeah. And so now, are you originally from the area, the Emerald Coast area, the Florida Panhandle area?
No, we're transplants.
I'm
from Colorado originally.
Okay.
Spent most of my life there.
All right.
And I'm originally from New York and then moved to Colorado. And then Nate and I had lived in Colorado for a long time, and we randomly decided that we were going to sell our house in Colorado and buy a travel trailer and start traveling the country. Yeah. And so we did that for about a year with our 3 kids and our 2 dogs. And then we found Florida and just really fell in love with the area.
Just driving through the country.
Yeah, we just drove through it.
Look, we found Florida.
Yep.
Yeah,
and we loved it.
To stay there.
We just decided to stay. Yeah, we were like, you know what? We're just going to plant ourselves here and try it out.
Florida's a beautiful place to find yourself to stay. Great weather. It barely ever free, other than when there's a hurricane, right?
Yeah, those happen
like
on
today.
Occasion. Yeah,
like today. That's really awesome. And I'm guessing so the journey from Colorado and traveling the United States and then finding Florida, was that kind of happening during kind of the COVID kind of post 2020?
Yeah.
So what were your favorite places in the United States? You're kind of traveling around. What were your favorite places?
We loved Vermont.
Yeah.
Vermont, we went in the fall, so we got to see Nate. So in Colorado, if you've never been out there in the fall, the leaves change, but it's yellow. Everything turns like that bright aspen tree yellow. But then in Vermont, you go and the leaves are the reds and the oranges. And I'm from the East Coast, and one of the things I always wanted to do was bring Nate to see the fall. So we got to see fall in Vermont. That was one of our favorites.
Yeah, and then I would say for me, I really like South Carolina, Charleston area. Just everything about it, just good vibe, good weather, great people, very historic, right on the water. A lot of good things about it. So really enjoyed it.
There's so many awesome places, and I think that's one of the things I love about being the franchisor is I get, I'm here in Oklahoma and I love Oklahoma, but it is really cool for all of you guys that are opening up all these other great places that I get to visit and see what's happening, see the cool houses in these areas. So you're making the move from Colorado to Florida in corporate America, doing, I'm guessing, mainly remote work, obviously. Yep. You're also doing remote work mainly, and then doing the homeschooling thing through all of this. Tell me about that moment. What happens where Nate and Briana are like, you know what? We're done. We want to do something different. We think we want to start our own business.
Yeah. And I think it might have been more.
Who was the one who kind of started? I was going to say, who was the one that started this?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Nate.
Yeah, I'm not sure. At first, because I know it sounds weird. Generally, we're not big risk takers, right? But I know it might sound like we are.
We packed up and sold our house and traveled across the country.
That felt safe.
Risk,
right? Yeah. But no, yeah, we. I think I got to a place in my career. Not that there was anything wrong with it. I was good at what I was doing. I was comfortable. We made a pretty good living. But I just don't think I was going to have the ability to take it to the next level and provide for the family in the way that I think I've always dreamed of and wanted to, given us an opportunity, whether that's just spend more time together, go on vacations, or just live in an area that we want to live in, have the land we want to have, and animals, or whatever that dream is. So that was a big motivating factor for me. And so I started talking to her about it, and she's fantastic. She's a supporter. I think she saw that I was stuck and gave me that space to start exploring, even if she wasn't quite ready.
I was not ready.
And then and then obviously it evolved from there over time. The whole process took a bit of time. But,
so what was that process? Did that look like? Was it always, were you always looking at thinking about a franchising, or were you just kind of open to anything and just kind of started doing research?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It was open to anything, whether it was, purchasing an existing business, starting with an idea of our own. Cause for years, this would be a great business idea. We always felt
we had a notebook. We were like, we could do this, and we were both in this coaching and consulting career field anyways, and we were like, we could be so great at opening some sort of, I don't know, this thing or that thing, but I don't know. Then Nate was like, or we could try franchising.
So what about franchising started to interest you? Because I know kind of in our conversations, you started out kind of just kind of being open-minded, seeing what was out there, but then it did kind of, you landed looking at some different franchising things. What really about franchising started to interest you?
Yeah, I mean, it in fairness, it's a lot of it is where I'm putting my time and effort, right? And I have some family that owns some small businesses, and they've put a significant amount of time and effort into hashing out processes and finding the right tools and applications to use, and they've been very successful. I like the franchise model because the support from the franchisor, and that corporate team is really, it's kind of a foot in the door. To build, they have a lot of processes and tools and things in place that will make that journey a little easier and a little less daunting. For someone who has 3 kids and 2 dogs and lives in hurricane country and trying to start a business, also sorting through all those other things is less exciting.
So and actually we were talking about this last night. I think it's the first time I'd ever asked this question. Probably that just shows I should do a better job at asking questions. But we were talking last night over dinner, and I asked you, how did you first find out about Preservan?
Yeah. So I first found out about Preservan. I was working with a franchise broker.
Okay, like a franchise consultant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Broker, by the way. And he took the time, figured out our needs and wants and desires, and threw a couple options our way, and Preservan happened to be one of them, and I think it was pretty much since day one. I think our first call, I was actually really sick, and it was me and you and April, and
I think so. Yeah.
And
you coughed the whole way through.
I coughed the whole way through it, but even through that, everything kind of seemed to fall in place from there. So
yeah, I can say for me, Ty, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Please.
I sat in on a lot of calls just in the background because I was not sold on franchising. I was like, I'm going to let him run with this and I'll just be a passive observer. And I didn't understand the franchising model. And I was like, not sold on any of it. I'm like, this is not going to work for me. And it wasn't until I sat on a call with you where I was like, oh, like this actually could work. And you were the first person out of a lot of people I listened to that I actually believed.
Yeah.
And I believed your love and passion for the service, right? Like I believe that you are passionate about the work that Preservan does. And for me, that like struck me on a heart level. And I told Nate, I was like, I don't know, but out of everything, this guy is real. Like you are the real deal.
I had to jump on it from that point because we had momentum, right? So, otherwise I was going to lose it.
Yeah.
Man, wow. Well, I wasn't planning on that. Thank you so much, Briana.
Yeah.
I will say I was a little nervous when we were on the calls because you were always in the background. And it was like, you could tell like she was listening in. And you never really know. But no, that's really awesome. Well, now that we got to this point, I guess I should ask you guys, because I already know, but I think you guys know. So just tell us a little bit from your perspective, and I keep looking at him, so I'm gonna ask you. Tell us a little bit about, from your perspective, what Preservan does.
Yeah. So from my perspective, and from I think our perspective, Preservan is a wood rot repair company. We go out to neighbors' homes. We can help them address these like pesky wood rot problems that we know specifically in the Florida area that everyone has. If you have wood on your home, you're living in a very humid climate, and there's always going to be wood rot.
Yeah.
And so for us, what we just truly love about the work that Preservan does is it feels like we are like the neighborhood, like friendly community I call it company, but it doesn't even feel like a company. It's not the right word. But this is like, we are a group of people who truly care about other people. That this feels something to me, like we can go out and we are taking pride in this person's investment, right? Their home is some people's biggest investments they will ever have and cherish. And their memories are there, and their kids' first footsteps were there. And they might have this pesky wood rot spot that they just, for whatever the reason is, it's not affordable or efficient to replace the entire window or get this full home restoration done. But we can come in and do some really quick, high quality work and transform that piece of investment for this neighbor for the rest of their lives. And for me, that is like, I love my home so much. And if someone can offer that service to me and I can get quality work that's going to last, like, wow, like what a great thing. And I think it's so special that we can bring that to the community. And that's what I'm so looking forward to. So that's why that's a long-winded response, but that's what Preservan is for me.
That's phenomenal. And I think we should just clip that up and make that like some sort of reel and just share it with everybody. What an amazing answer. And really just, I think, and this is why you guys are such an awesome opportunity there in that area, because you really just get what it's all about. And that's what's really cool as you think about bringing this to your area, that I think that kind of heart and emotion that you just kind of communicate is going to resonate with your area, with your community. So I guess I'll ask kind of the broader question. I kind of introduced the area early on, but I'm not from there, so I don't know all the areas. So Nate, share a little bit about with us, like kind of what your area that you're going to be servicing when you go home and start doing wood rot repairs. What's the area look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So Pensacola has, really beautiful historic homes.
Yeah.
That's going to be fantastic. That's going to be a lot of fun. But really throughout our entire region, there's so many different unique areas that I can't really pick one, right? There's beautiful beach homes that are susceptible along the entire coast, but also, as we go north into our territories, we have, a lot of older homes and farm type, feel to them, and really a lot of people in a lot of different areas that are all unique could really benefit from it. So I'm kind of excited about all of them and jumping in, but I can't do them all at once, unfortunately, but yeah, we're
you start small and grow from there. I do remember kind of when we were doing that initial one of those calls and we were looking at the territory and kind of looking at the different housing inventory, that was one thing that really struck me about your area was the diversity of the houses. Like you have those like typical what everybody thinks of like, coastal Florida, like on the what do they call the stilts or whatever.
Stilts.
Yeah, the houses on the stilts, and you have all of that. But then you also have like these really great like Florida styled historic craftsman houses, and then you go north into the Panhandle, and you've got more kind of typical like great suburban houses that have wood rot issues, and so it's a really diverse area that obviously we all agree is going to be a huge opportunity. And there's like you were saying, just because of the area that it's in, there's a lot of wood deterioration from
Yeah.
rot and termites and other things. So as you think about Preservan, and I think Brianna, you kind of really spoke to this quite a bit already, but just how does Preservan and the services that you guys are gonna provide there locally different from the other options that people have? If they have a rotting window, rotting door, deck, or something else like that, how's Preservan different from what they currently have, the options they currently have?
Yeah, I think Preservan is different from those options because we are like very specialized. Like we have a very specific skill set. Like we're doing one thing. We are coming out there.
Like Liam Neeson.
Right. Like it's
Yeah.
like we're coming out to fix wood rot, right? We're not coming out to do these huge home remodels or these huge window replacements. And I feel like those are typically the alternatives is you are replacing all of the windows, which it can be very costly to do that, or replacing doors. Those things are not quick fixes either.
Yeah.
And not that we're providing a quick fix, we are providing a forever fix, right? That to me is the goal, but at an affordable price point for many people, and it's a convenient service. We can come in and get the work done on a faster timeline than they might previously have available to them, and they don't have to replace everything. And so for me, that's one of the charms of my home. Like if I don't have to replace it and I can fix it, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so we can bring that service in. I think again, like we have this like culture. Like I think that's something that sets us apart is this to me feels like our technicians are going to be like our family. And again, our customers are our neighbors, and we can show up at a neighbor's door with our Preservan shirts and our Preservan car and make them feel comfortable and make them re-feel maybe some pride and love in their home that, that one spot of rot or the rotting doors maybe are really just causing them to feel some like hurt towards that. And I wanted to repair that, and I think that's something we can literally come in and do physical repairs that will last them a really long time, and bring that love back for them.
That's really great. And that's what I think, one of the things, of course, I love about Preservan is I think that so many homeowners, when they have an issue with their house, whatever it is related to wood deteriorating, is they call up like a typical contractor. And the goal of that other contractor is to see how big they can make a job, right? Like, can we turn one window into 30 windows? Can we turn one door into doors and windows? Can we turn a little piece of rotting siding that's the size of my fist into just redoing all the siding? And Preservan is kind of the flip of that. Like, no, let's just address the problem that you have. What everything else is good. Let's just fix what's wrong and allow you to invest your money or save your money in something else that's more important to you.
Yeah.
That's one of the things, of course, that I always like about it. Kind of, part of it is kind of creating a business that I would want. Right. And I think that's one of the great things about our culture.
And I don't think there's anything else like this in our area, like in our community in the Emerald Coast, Northwest Florida area. Like I don't think there is another service that offers what we can. And that is something I'm so excited about. And we've already started to pulse and just talk to a few people in the community, and people they are so excited about having this option for their homes, because again, there's wood rot everywhere and there is wood deterioration, and people are like, wait, you can just come fix this? Like you can just come fix this thing? And I'm like, yeah, like we can, and it's going to last. It's not going to fall out. It's not going to, chip away on you. And I think people are just thrilled.
Yeah, that's really great. We'll switch gears here a little bit. Nate, you talked a lot about going through the process. Now, you used a franchise consultant. His name's John Anderson. He's based out of Tulsa. Really awesome guy. Did a lot of really great coaching. As you were going through that process with John, what stood out about Preservan as a business opportunity?
It's a good question. For me, what what stood out with Preservan, I mean, I'm kind of an intangibles kind of guy. I'm a culture kind of guy. And really, it starts that's what it all starts with for me, right? A good culture and good leadership. And I know we keep giving you all these compliments, Ty, and
it's not what this was about.
I'm gonna, I don't want to get your head too big here, buddy, but no, it had a great feel.
Yeah.
You welcomed us, ad hoc on a pseudo discovery type day on a holiday Sunday as we were, doing one of our travels across the country. And, I mean, you were open to it and you welcomed us and your daughter babysat our kids, right?
That's right.
It just, you don't get that everywhere. And so, it's things like that I build off of, I feed off of. And so, I mean, and on top of that, right? I mean, Preservan stands out because, she's already hit it so many times. There is a need in Northwest Florida. There is a demand. And so, from a business perspective, it is something we can offer the community, at an affordable price that, almost everyone can use. So,
yeah.
And I think for me a little bit too is, after we got past the culture piece, because I think that was like a full body yes right away. Right. For me, from the business side of it, I was really looking for what's in place, what's ready to go, what can we trust, what feels believable, and what is the potential for moving forward. And we have talked to a bunch of other companies, and it felt like, wow, they've been around for a lot longer. Wow, they have a lot more. They have a lot more to show for their being around a lot longer, right? And although that might seem super risky, there was something that was so clear and transparent again and so streamlined about the model that you presented in this business. And for me, I was like, I can absolutely see us replicating and being successful. And it was hard to see in some other businesses. And so when we're thinking about the longevity of Preservan in our area, and also the longevity of the family unit, and this being something that we could make a career out of, like this felt like it, because there was a clear model, there was a clear strategy, it was a clear focus of the work, and to me that was all really important as well. So I think those were things that we saw from a business standpoint where the potential felt like there was so much room to grow and there was so much we could do, and that was very exciting for me.
That's you guys are phenomenal, and this has been just an amazing conversation. And you really, you keep talking about our culture, but you guys embody the culture, and that's the great thing about being a franchise is that we get to bring in just these amazing individuals as a young brand, as you stated, to help us grow. And I think that the both of you and your family are going to be an awesome asset to your area and of course to Preservan. And so kind of the last question I want to ask you both, as you think about this and you think about 5 years down the road, what will a successful Preservan look like for your family?
Can I answer? I'm so excited. You can answer next too. My dream is that like Preservan is like the neighborly community name, that people know it, they trust it, they're recommending us to their family, their friends. Like I want our technicians to be neighbors with them. That is just what I see, and I want our technicians to walk into neighborhoods and people are like, hey, like it's nice to see you again. And I just, that is my biggest hope and dream, is that this is just truly like people know who we are and trust us and want our service and are excited about it. And I'm hoping that just becomes like, I think that's just the beginning, right? Yeah. Like to me, that feels like just the beginning. And I think this could go so many places, and we already have so many ideas, and we're really excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. What she said.
Yeah. You told him not to do that, but he did, but that's okay. Well, you guys, this has been an awesome conversation. I want to thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for trusting Preservan with your investment and your future. It means the world to myself and our entire team. And I know that you guys are going to do amazing things for your neighbors and community and territory there in the Emerald Coast area, Northwest Florida. And yeah, so thank you so much for being here. And if you're out there and you're listening to this or you're watching this and you have wood rot and you live in the Emerald Coast, Northwest Florida area, or really anywhere, right? Go to preservan.com and fill out the form and get a quote for wood repair in your area. And if you're thinking, maybe I am tired of the corporate grind or ready to do something else, click the link that says franchise there and learn more about our franchise